everybody, you're listening to A Podcast Has No Name, the show that takes on the latest social issues, trends, and entertainment. I'm Edward Leon Jasper.
And I'm Matt Elam. That nutter butter, make 'em suffer, drain the juices, keep it gutter. And we are boldly going where no gay and straight have gone before.
Ew, that was nasty.
Wasn't it dirty? You know, worked up, ready to start singing some NWA?
Yeah, I mean, about ready to throw some chairs through some windows, you know?
Oh, yeah.
About to go Chris Brown on him.
Oh, he got a new video that just dropped, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Was it any good?
It was all right. Shout out to my brother-in-law, Steve. He got that Steve Sewer going on in his hair.
Yeah? Good. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. Very good. You know, we're coming off the 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Happy birthday, America. And it was a nice weekend. Went to the in-laws' house, did a little maxing and relaxing, sitting on side, shooting on Muka, Fresh Prince.
Okay.
And
Clearly you didn't know the last part of that, so I just... Okay.
Well, I got it right, but your microphone's a little messed up. So, yeah, also I watched a little bit of the second season of Scream, so... Yeah, of course, all our listeners remember I was expressing my adulation for Scream the first season. But the second season, it's been a little bit lackluster. So, but I'm going to wait till the whole season is finished to give you all the full rundown on that. It's building to something, but I feel like it's going to let me down at the end. So, yeah, I was catching up on Scream. And then...
Don't let me down. And then what happened?
Did you just get me?
Yeah, I did.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, I got a reverse got you.
Ooh, impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so...
add that one to your arsenal.
I will. Following up on last week as well, you know, I let y'all know that I applied to a position that I have no business applying to.
None.
And then at the end of the episode, I was like, you know, why don't I have business applying to it? I'm going to start being my biggest fan instead of my number one enemy. And today I got a phone call from Human Resources.
Hi, this is Human Resources.
And they say, hey, you know, we saw you apply for this direct one position. We'd like to give you an interview.
Even though you know you ain't got no business doing this, but...
Even though you know you don't have any fucking business in applying for this, we'd like to give you an interview. So I said, I'll take it.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how my week has been so far.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Interview is like a really hard part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing that you got that interview. So I'm hoping that it pans out. When's the interview?
Oh, that's classified information.
Okay.
They trying to get me out here, so I can't be giving all that information.
Gotcha. Okay.
They might try to slash my tires on that day. Be like, oh shit, the clothes are coming in. Sling, sling. So the interview is tomorrow.
Wow.
At 3:00.
But isn't that... Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, bro. How was your weekend?
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much for asking me about my week.
Yes.
This weekend, as you know, 4th of July is so great. But it was also super great because I get to celebrate the second and third part of my wedding.
Which I had no idea about, but
me neither, really, to be really honest. So essentially what had happened was, you know, how we had this very small, intimate wedding, which you were a part of. In fact, you're my best man, so I don't really know why you're complaining.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know.
But, you know, we had this wedding, and it was great, and, you know, but the thing is, we only had, like, 20, 30 people there, and so, you know, a lot of people didn't get to make it. In particular, Frankie's family, which is very large, and most of them are in upstate New York, so we wanted to, like, also have some time for them to celebrate with us, and, so my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law set up, and my father-in-law too, set up parties for us, one in Rochester and then one in the Thousand Islands. And we just had like two extra little celebrations, and it was great. It was like really good to hang out with everyone, and get to get the love from our friends and family in upstate New York. And
Now,
yeah,
for some of us regular folk, from over here in the 386,
okay.
what is the Thousand Islands like? Did you all swim in a pool of salad dressing?
Oh my god! Wow, close.
Okay.
Actually, so basically, what the Thousand Islands are is so Frankie's family has a cottage on Cape Vincent, right? And
Yes.
right next to it is the Thousand Islands, which is essentially like a cluster of islands that straddle the Canada and U.S. border,
Hmm.
and it's actually in the St. Lawrence River that actually connects to Lake Ontario.
Oh, okay.
So it's up there. So from Frankie's cottage, you can actually look across um, the river and see Canada.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with that area.
Oh, are you?
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, Thousand Islands is actually 1,864 islands in total.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's actually really cool because in the late 1900s, or in the late 19th, early 20th century, it was like the playground for the rich and famous. So all the people in the Industrial Revolution would like take all their money and then they would buy these like playhouses essentially on a thousand islands. So we got to take a boat tour of like all these houses up there, and like a lot of rich people still live in that area.
Of
Um,
course.
but oh my god, like some of those houses up there are freaking breathtaking. Do you remember seeing Ex Machina?
Of course.
So you remember like the house that they were staying in?
Yeah.
It wasn't that house. That house was not there.
Oh.
But there are some houses that looked exactly like it.
Now, you talking about the outside where it's like all naturey and then there's like a dumbass door and then it's like the beautiful house? Or are you talking about the inside of the house where there's like glass and you can see the nature from the inside and there's underground rooms with glass and lots of walls and glass?
I'm talking about the inside.
Okay, cool.
So the better part of what you just described.
All right. I got you now. I can visualize it.
But yeah, it's beautiful. Huge, like floor to ceiling windows, and like the whole house is pretty much glass, and you just get a beautiful view of the river, and it's amazing. But the cool part is that what they have there is the Bolt Castle, which is on an island called Hart Island, and what's so cool about it is like it's literally a huge castle that was modeled after castles in Germany and old school Germany.
Oh, yeah. Those are good ones.
Those are the good ones, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they modeled Cinderella's castle after, for those who don't know.
And basically, what had happened was, is a guy who was building, guy was building this castle, and he was actually building it for his wife because he said that she was his queen, and like they were in love, blah blah. So he's building, building, building this castle, and then the wife dies, and then he just stopped building it. So for over 75 years, it was just left to decay,
Mm.
and so the Thousand Island Bridge Authority actually bought the island and the castle for $1 from the family.
Uh,
And the family was like, all you have to do is all the money that you get from turning this place into a tourist attraction, you just
mhm.
have to reinvest all that money into making the castle better. And so they have been. And so, like, looks really good. But, yeah, it was amazing. And so
Wow.
you said something about Thousand Islands earlier. Well, the
Hmm.
guy who did the Boat Castle, he is responsible for bringing Thousand Islands dressing to New York.
Ah,
Yes.
very nice.
So little history for you on
Appreciate
today.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Sounds like you had a great, beautiful weekend. I saw some of the snaps. It was lots of wind and lots of
awesome.
water. I was like, damn, I wish I could be there.
Yeah, it was pretty great. It was pretty great. So, what are we gonna do about our black men out here?
Woo! Ooh, we're gonna have to. First off, we're gonna have to talk. You know?
I think I just need to talk about it. I think I'll be in a better mood after we talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about this, by the way.
No,
Okay.
no, because I'm with you. It was actually Rebecca. Like I heard about the story. I don't remember when the shooting happened, but it was this week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I feel like, because today is Thursday, and I had heard about it, and I heard that there was a video, but I didn't see it. And I came home, and Rebecca, she was like visibly shaken up, to the point where after the kids went to bed, I was like, "Hey, what's up? Like, what's wrong?" And then she was like, "This video, did you see this?" And like she was really shaken up about it because, of course, one of our brothers, Alton Sterling, was gunned down over in Louisiana, by the police.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to browse the dark side of the internet through YouTube and Live Leak. Like I see the stuff that doesn't come on mainstream news. So I'm a little more used to seeing things like this than Rebecca is. But so sometimes I do feel like I get desensitized. But to see like the look on her face and see how much it shook her up, I'm like, man, like this shouldn't be a normal occurrence. Like this, like I should be feeling like this as well. Like I should be shaken up. Of course I'm enraged, but that I'm just talking about that emotional shakeup that I saw on her face. Like I missed that. But it's the reality is that it's happening so much, and the penalties are so weak. It's almost desensitizing me, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting scared of.
It's just yeah. It's a very scary situation
Hmm.
that we are kind of in right now because not only do we have Alton Sterling, but we have Philando Castile.
Correct. Yeah, and I wasn't gonna say their names, but I was like, no, like we need to say their names because these are people. And the I said desensitized because I don't want to start just blowing these cases off and being like, well, yeah, that's just the way it is. Like, if you're black and you get pulled over, you can't do the same things that a white person can. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
And you know what? It shouldn't be like that, but I'll be completely honest.
Uh huh.
Ever since I was a kid, I have
Hmm.
always just that was the norm. Like that was a reality that we can face. I don't think a lot of people actually realize that the black culture kind of grows up with this
Hmm.
mindset that or not a mindset, but just maybe something in the back of your mind that's always kind of like, you know what, the cop could kill me,
Right.
right? And they could just get off.
Right.
Um, I actually saw this really cool infographic today on Facebook that says this reality is always, or this reality isn't new. It's the cell phones that are new.
Mm.
And it's like, this is, when I first started driving, one of the first things my dad told me was if a cop pulls you over, you keep your hands on the wheel. You do not reach for your ID or anything, even when he says, "Can I see your ID?" You first ask the officer, "Do you mind if I reach for my ID?" It doesn't matter if he just said, "Get your ID." You have to ask him first. And my dad told me that, and ever since then, granted, I've only been pulled over like 2 times.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very safe driver, very cautious.
Okay, let's not brag.
But you ask, I lost my train of thought. You ask, and then you grab it. Because the reality of it is, just like we saw in this case that just happened yesterday,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You can just be reaching for your ID and you get shot. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter what you do, to be completely honest. You can ask them and you can still get shot. And that's the reality of the situation of growing up as a black man.
Right.
And the thing about it is, like, I am so appreciative that we do have these cell phones and that we do have Facebook and we have Instagram and people can actually see what we are experiencing because white people need to know that this age of oppression that they're just now experiencing, this has been
Hmm.
going on since forever,
Forever.
since we got here.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this is nothing new.
Right.
It's just I haven't had to experience this so personally. You hear the
Mm-hmm.
stories, but now you see these videos.
Mm-hmm.
At first, Eric Garner, like, this was like, okay, this is a little, like, fucked up.
Right.
Now
Right.
it's like, come on. Come on.
Yeah. It's getting more and more blatant. Um, I forget what state it was in, but there was another black man that pulled into a gas station. I don't know if you've seen that video, and the officer, I don't know why he got pulled over, but the officer told him to get his ID, and then he was outside the car, and so the guy reached back in the car to get his wallet, and the officer just started shooting, like unleashed like 7 shots, something ridiculous. And Buddy was like, "Why are you shooting me? Like you told me to get my wallet. I was just getting my wallet." So same situation as Philandro that just happened in Minnesota. The only difference is Philandro died and the other person fortunately lived, and I believe he got a settlement for that. But it's ridiculous. And then I just saw a link in the group text today. I forget what state this was, but a white man was pointing a shotgun at highway drivers just on the side of the road. He had been drinking. So we have a drunk man pointing an extremely powerful shotgun at random citizens on the road. One police officer responds and they get into a physical altercation. Um, the suspect fires off a shot, yet he is still apprehended. Now, granted, this man was 62 years old, but if you get a report that somebody is pointing a shotgun at citizens on the side of the highway, first off, why didn't you come with more people like you do when there's somebody selling CDs in front of a store? You know what I'm saying? It's a horrible double standard, and I love what Jesse Williams said at that BET Awards speech that everybody's been
Props.
talking about. Yeah, big shot because I didn't know he had it in him like that. First off, um, but he said it straight. It's like until we get the same treatment, like if you are able to successfully apprehend white people without killing them, you need to do the same for black folk too, or else,
Yeah. Or else.
or else.
And I think that that's kind of what this movement is right now. I feel like people always want to pin um, the Black Lives Matter movement to Black Panthers. But I think what we need to actually realize is that Black Panthers started off as a very non-violent organization, right?
Right,
We
right.
said, hey, guess what? We have open carry laws for these guns,
Hmm.
so I'm going to carry my guns. They
Right.
followed every single fucking rule.
Hmm.
That's the thing people don't understand. They followed every rule until the police started to play unfair.
Right.
Then it was, you know what? Then it was like nothing. But now we're not carrying guns. We're just doing peaceful protests, blocking your traffic here and there, lying down on Grand Central.
Yeah.
Very peaceful. But you know what? It's like, I think what it is that before this was going on, right? All the
Hmm.
time. We didn't have the cell phones to track it. Now we have the
Hmm.
cell phones to track it. It's becoming more prevalent, and as people become more aware, the tensions are rising, rising, rising.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why we need to talk because I don't want it to seem like we're anti-white because we're not. Like we both have white people in our family. We love white people. We're just talking about education. Like be aware of white privilege and educate yourselves to the things that are don't turn a blind eye and say I don't see color, this and that. No, like you need to open your eyes and see what's going on that we are being murdered, like us, like your friends, like your cousins, people you grew up with are being murdered just because of the color of our skin still.
Still. And, we have white people in our family. And I want to say that we love white people the same way I love police officers and people who wear uniforms to protect the liberties that, people have died for.
Absolutely.
But what I don't love is that we have this systemic hatred and bigotry and racism, really,
Mm-hmm.
that that is rooted very deeply in um, the armed forces.
Right.
I mean, and these are the people who were used to propagate, uh, racial tensions and like keep black people in line. The same way they were used at Stonewall Inn to keep gay people in line. Because
Mm.
what a lot of people don't realize is that the Stonewall Inn, um, riots that happened. Well, that was also happening because there were a lot of um, officers who were in the closet and they didn't want people to know, so they started to think that they could intimidate the gays with fear. Well, it's the same thing that the police have been doing to the black culture for years and years and years. Oh, guess what? You don't have chains anymore? Well, I'm still going to oppress you with everything else. Oh, there's no more segregation? Well, I'm still going to oppress you with everything else. Do not be driving while black. Do not express your freedom while you're black. Do not think that you are equal to me and still be
Mm.
black.
Mm.
That is the problem that we have, and it's allowed to be carried out through a lot of our police officers, and
Mm.
it's a rooted idea that is there, and they get to act on it because they think that they're above the law, and these judgments that we have in these cases that get brought to court further that thought that they can do whatever the fuck they want and get
Exactly.
found innocent. Listen, we need some fucking examples to be set. I need some
Mm.
people to be sent to life for jail or to jail for life.
Yes.
Okay, I need something more than 3 months in county.
They need to know that there's consequences for murdering somebody, even if you're a cop. Like, you take that back. That's your job. You're not, you're a human. And then in the morning, like, you put on your badge, you put on your uniform. That's your job.
Right,
It's not who you are.
right,
So
exactly.
I don't get to violate the laws just because I work on computers. Like, I don't have special privileges just because I work on a computer.
Super
I
admin.
super admin rights. Give me all your data.
Beep, bop, beep, bop, bop.
I don't. That's no. I still got to follow the same laws as every other law-abiding citizen, and the cops should have to be held to that same standard. And until they are, this is going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
Like that one cop. I don't remember his name, but he was raping prostitutes. Did you hear that one?
No.
Oh man, like this guy was like a high school football star or whatever, college football star, became a police officer, um, started sexually assaulting basically people he would pick up in stops, prostitutes, whatever. He got like 35 life sentences or something like
Oh
that.
my god.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Because I'm sure there are hundreds of other officers, bad officers, mind you, that are doing the same thing out there that saw that and are like, shit, I need to stop. So you got to make examples to stop that system of oppression that's been going on through the criminal justice system.
So true. Yep. Yep. Um, do you know how many black men have been killed in 2016?
Let's see, we're in July. Just we're halfway through July. So I'm gonna estimate that we're in the month of June. I'm gonna estimate about 3 black men per month. Are we talking about killed by police or in
Yeah.
general?
Yeah.
Killed by police. I'm gonna estimate about 3 per month. I'm gonna say 18.
Final answer.
Final answer.
123. Yep. Now, how many of these were unarmed? 12. So close. Um, how many of these murders, murders, were committed by people or officers wearing a body camera? 17.
Ooh.
Which I thought this was like standard, but I guess okay, 17, that's fine. Let's see, how many of these were not fleeing? 66. So of the 123 black people that were killed in 2016, 66 of them were just sitting there.
Wow. Wow.
Now this is not, fucking Huffington Post that we're talking about. This is the Washington Post. Okay, this is a reputable news source that has been tracking the not just black people, but all people shot and killed by the police in just 2016.
Right.
I mean, we're only 6 full months in, guys. What the fuck? This one just added today. Philando Castile, a 32-year-old black man, was shot on July 6, 2016, in St. Paul, Minnesota. Castile was shot by a St. Anthony police officer after a traffic stop. Castile told the officer he had a weapon in the car. A woman in the car said he was reaching for his wallet when the officer shot him. No body cam recording. He was not fleeing. No or unknown mental illnesses. He couldn't get his weapon, so whatever. 32 years old.
Mm, mm, mm. Meanwhile, in United Kingdom, how many people, black and white, have been killed this year? 2. Just in case you were wondering. 2 by law enforcement. So how about we start.
Is this all people?
This is people, yeah.
Wow, okay. And I said 123, just black people.
Yeah.
All people in general?
People.
509. 509 people were killed by police this year. Now, not all of them are innocent.
Of course. We acknowledge that there are criminals out there.
But what I am saying, though, is that the officer's job is to not have to kill people unless it's necessary. Like, the officer is trained to restrain a human being.
Right.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, I really, when I was watching the one from Louisiana, that video, I didn't understand why they had to escalate. Like, I read that they had tased him twice before, but it's 2 against 1, and those officers were big.
They were big.
And it's 2 of you. Like, don't y'all have those some type of other restraints, handcuffs, something? Don't they teach y'all judo? I mean, something other than murdering. Like, it results to, if somebody's stronger than you, like, you automatically kill them.
Exactly. It's like, why is that the reaction? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know the complete deets about this one. I just kind of heard this one in passing, but there was another black man who was killed by an off-duty officer. Did you hear about this?
The road rage?
Yes.
So up in New York.
So apparently the black guy was punching the off-duty officer through his window.
Yep.
Okay. But he still got killed.
Right. Which this sounds familiar. It sounds like Trayvon Martin to me.
Now, here's my thing. You're a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know how to do things other than shoot people?
Yeah.
And you're in a car. Now, I mean, I don't know the full details, but my guess is that the car was running.
I would think so.
I mean, this is road rage, so this is something that happened while they were driving.
Yeah, this is on the road, so.
So I'm guessing that your car was able to be driven off.
Right.
Okay. I mean, how many times do you have to get punched before you put the car in gas?
Uh-huh.
Or in drive?
Right.
So I don't understand. Like, there's got to be at least 10 more steps before you get to shoot them.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like that should be the. I don't even know why why regular officers need guns. Like, shouldn't the SWAT team, like, why don't you just call in the SWAT team and let special tactics handle all situations where you think you might need a gun? Like, people, like the cops walking the streets, they shouldn't have that for their daily duties. They shouldn't. They don't need those, man. They don't need those. If you're gonna look for bank robbers, and I don't know nothing about law enforcement, but in my mind, like, if you hear about a bank robbery, don't send traditional cops. Like, that should instantly be SWAT, like special weapons and tactics.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear that somebody has a gun, and they're pointing it at freeway people, you should call in SWAT. Like that shouldn't be what your regular officer does, because obviously the economy is bad and people are just taking jobs because that's the only thing that's available, and they're extremely scared of the people that they're protecting.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't work at the Humane Society if you're terrified of dogs, because as soon as a dog barks at you, you're gonna kick it.
Right.
You're gonna be like, no, you're trying to kill me, and it's just human nature. So if you're fearful of the people you're protecting, you don't need to
You
be
don't need to
in
be a
that
cop.
job. You don't need
Yeah.
to be a cop. Find
That.
something else to do. Well, I guess one solution is you could bleach your skin like as Leah Banks.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know what they also say: if you're not white, you're black. So she ain't never gonna be white. Yeah, I just this one is very, very confusing to me
And
and
surprising.
extremely surprising. Now,
Wow.
so who we're talking about is Azalea Banks. Azalea Banks is a rapper. She's really famous for a song called 212. That if you are in New York, and if you have been in New York for at least 5 years, you would have definitely heard this in pretty much every club you went to. She's from Harlem, black girl, beautiful black girl.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Harlem. Stand
Harlem.
up
That's
Harlem.
beautiful girl. And one of the things that she is known for is being unapologetically black, is how I would describe her. She goes on her Twitter rants and she always talks about how she's proud to be black, and she's one of the first people to stand up when all these police brutality cases were really coming out to the light after Eric Garner, Trayvon. Like, she's been very vocal about this whole thing, and just this week or last week, she admitted to skin bleaching, and it's basically like saying that it's no different her bleaching her skin than it is her getting her wigs
Right. Or a nose
or a
job.
nose job. And
Mm-hmm.
this is like really throwing people off. I will say, about a year ago, I was the biggest Azalea Banks fan. I loved her music. She has a very different sound, a very cool sound. Um, and she just like, she has good rhymes and things like that. And then she started like saying faggot in a lot of her tweets when she was talking about Perez
Mm-hmm.
Hilton, or when she was on trying to get off a plane and she got in another fight with somebody and she called this guy a
Right.
faggot. Which, my thing is like, if you are the most emotional that you are, like if you're like enraged with emotions, the words that come out of your mouth are what you really feel. So I mean, whatever. But here she is, bleaching her skin. What the fuck?
And I can roger that to what you just said. Like she I had her in like one of my top 3 female rappers lists. She is
She's
good.
good.
Like she's talented, and she's got the visuals going down. She's got her syncopation that she has with her rhymes is just incredible. But yeah, she's been on a very dark path for a while, and she kind of fell off through her tweets, and now this bleaching the skin thing is baffling, and I don't understand Azalea, but
Uh huh.
but
Azalea.
but Azalea, like you need to get that help. You need to get that
Well,
help.
she's surpassed it for me. I mean, there's redemption for everyone, but at this point, I'm not gonna try to follow or listen to her music until she decides to come back to this side, because I've given her so many chances. But I think what it also is just like, if you want to go out there and color your skin, get a nose job, get a weave, like that is your prerogative.
Right.
But I don't think you should diminish any of those things. Like, you should accept what you did, and if you're gonna explain yourself as why you did it, then be honest.
Right.
Don't just say like, "Oh, it's just like getting my boobs done," because it's not. Right? Acknowledge what you did, and I kind of feel like this is a bigger problem that we have when it comes to colorism.
Mm-hmm.
And colorism is a worldwide phenomena, if I do say so myself.
You do.
And basically what it is this idea that the lighter you are, the better you are. You know?
Yeah, it's team dark skin versus team light skin. I'm well acquainted with that battle.
Well acquainted. Now, I can't remember. Ain't you light-skinned?
Bruh, I am right in the middle, bruh. You know I'm chocolate. Don't play me like that, bruh.
Okay. Because I feel like you got a little easy streak growing up there.
You know, I really...
Easy streak!
Yeah, we're actually just listening to Annie while the kids are
Wow.
taking a bath, yeah. Yeah, you know, growing up, I consider myself light-skinned, but I don't know if it was just, you know, working outside, doing the auto detailing, or I don't know what it was, but my skin is just not light anymore. Like I can't be called light skin. I'm just brown. I'm a very nice caramel brown sugar complexion. If you think about Morris Chestnut, but with a little better complexion, that's what I look like.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, I'm black. And I've been black for a long ass time. Now, what I will say is, I do not, I don't fault Azalea Banks at all. You know, I personally, growing up, have always wanted to be lighter skinned. Like, I don't think I would ever say that I want to be white, but I definitely wanted to be lighter skin, black, because it's just different. And even in the black community, like, people who are dark, they make fun of light-skinned black guys a lot, and they call them light-skinned, and it's just not like liked, because I don't want to say that you know, darker skinned people feel like light-skinned people don't get the same experience of a black person, but I do kind of feel like that is the way it is, because we have colorism, and so it goes beyond just one race, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like the way that we all, if you want to consider us all to be one race, which we are, then colorism is what divides us. And the darker you are, the worse you are as a human being. And the lighter you are, the better you are. And the more I'm willing to trust you and lend you money and give you a lower interest rate. Like,
Right.
That's just how it is. The more roles that you get in Hollywood, the more concerts you'll get booked to. And this is evident in a lot of things. So Azalea Banks, like, you know, I guess you got to kind of look at her situation. She's been in the rap game for a very long time. As we said earlier, she's very talented. But she hasn't really, like, broken out. Like, people know her in... If you're in the rap community, like, you will know her. But she's not as big as Lil' Kim or Nicki Minaj.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, she hasn't gotten to that level, and she's been doing it for just as long as a lot of those girls.
Right. She was right on that verge. Like, she was right
She was
there,
getting there.
and then she just fucked it all up.
Azalea Banks, I'm very disappointed in you. I feel like...
Shame.
Shame. I just feel like if you're gonna do this, own up to it, okay? Because you own up to everything else. I don't understand why this is any different. Yeah, I mean, if this is who you want to be, bye.
Right.
And she's saying that this does not take away from her blackness. Well, yeah, because like I said before, if you're not white, you're black. So you don't got a fucking choice, really. Yeah. But I do want to say that you were a beautiful dark-skinned girl before, and I mean, we need you to keep that strength for us dark-skinned back here.
Right. Shout out to team dark skin. We love y'all.
Yeah. Thank you. We love you all too. But I've embraced my blackness, dog. I've been out here in the sun, going to the beach, getting my tan on.
You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Like whatever you are, I just like when people maximize whatever your skin tone is. Like, I know Italians, they have that, like when they go out in the sun, they get that nice toasty brownish tan.
Very golden.
It's like, yeah, like, you know, just go out and get your golden on. You don't got to get all burnt and your skin's all cracking, and you don't have to stay inside, so you can not release the melanin in your skin. Like just do what's good for you as an individual. Make it look juicy.
And that's what we need in this world. We need acceptance, okay? But I think first we need to start accepting ourselves. Quit trying to be, Jenny from the block, okay? Quit trying to be Tyson Beckford.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And be fucking you. Be the best you that you can be. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
you want to get a fucking date? You want to get a boyfriend, a girlfriend? You want to get a partner? You want to get a better career? You want to get a better body? Accept you for how you are right fucking now.
Ooh.
And all those things will come to play. I promise you.
Amen. Amen.
So we have an iTunes review from Amish Sound Guy.
What up, Amish?
He says, 5 stars. I'm definitely gonna keep this in rotation.
Ooh-wee.
Can I just say thank you for that?
Thank you, Amish. It brightened up my whole day.
Love it. It did for me too. You know what I will say? Like, seriously though, thank you so much for saying those kind words, Amish. We do love making this podcast, and comments like this really help us keep going, and they also help other people to find us on iTunes.
Yes.
Just a little insider scoop for you guys at home. iTunes is the biggest platform for podcasts, and people look on iTunes first when they're looking for new podcasts, and these podcast reviews, they really help us get higher in the rankings, just like Google, and they help us a lot. Me and Matt, we sit down 2 hours out of the day to record this, but throughout the whole week we are planning the next episode, and so I think it would really mean, well, I know it would mean a lot to us if you could just, like, 5 seconds out of the day, you can just give us 1-sentence review, 5 stars of course. I mean, just let us know how you feel, and it's really going to help other people find us, and right now we could really use that. It's our 8th episode here.
Yes, wow, number 8. Please, and these episodes are free, so if we could just have your time, you could just write something nice if you like it. If you listen to us every week, just go on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, and tell everybody what you think.
You're so well put. You're so well spoken for a black guy.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hate that expression. I
fucking hate it.
It's so offensive.
So offensive. I mean, well, they don't say it for a black guy, but they still say you're so well spoken.
Right. And I know from their perspective, they don't mean anything negative by it. Being black, it hurts to hear that.
Because they don't mean it outright, but that is stemming from that.
Right.
Is what I don't know if they understand.
They don't. And this, once again, it's the white privilege.
Yeah.
They just don't know. It's ignorance, and ignorance is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you just don't know. That's why we talk. That's why we try to educate. Let's talk. Let's talk about it.
Now, I do want to say one thing. When I'm in the office at work, I do work with 98% non-black people.
Oh, wow.
Also anything else except for white. Which is absolutely fine. Mm-hmm. But I do think that my own talking is hindered because I fear sounding ghetto or southern.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I don't talk as loud as I normally do, or as gay as I normally do.
Uh-huh.
And I talk very short. I don't have much of a personality at all at work. And I've been thinking about that recently, and I think it's because I don't want to sound like I don't belong.
Wow.
And you know what I have to say about that?
What's that?
Fuck it! I almost popped the blood vessel there. And it was so worth it because seriously, fuck it.
Yeah, let it out, man.
No. They're gonna... No more. Okay? I'm gonna sassay that walk.
Do it,
the
bro.
whole way up the hallway. I'm gonna fucking switch these little hips.
Mm-hmm. Switch them.
Okay? Because if you're gonna fire me, it's not gonna be because of that. And if it is, I'm going right down to Judge Judy. I'm gonna say, what's going on?
Bloop, 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 bloop. Give me that money.
Give me that money, please. Thank you. I'll take it in paper, not plastic. How else does money come? No, but yeah, I think that, and I think that I've been doing that for a long time, and I do have a southern accent. You know, I live in New York now, but I grew up in Florida, and there are some things that I say that are a little weird, and not necessarily black, but they're also not white, and you know, I hate that a lot when I'm in a public setting. I just feel like I want to be accepted, and I want for at least not the way I talk to be a reason why you think I'm weird.
Right.
Like, let it be because I have a weird face, you know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah.
My teeth are too big. When's the last time you did your beard, you fucking freak? Or like, are you wearing contacts because your eyes are really red, or do you just have pink eye? Like things like that.
Right. That's fair.
So I'm not doing that no more. I just, you know, it's going to take time to get out of that habit. But I think that it'll also, you know, I have a lot of social anxiety.
Me too.
And I just feel like that's going to help. Maybe if I just be, maybe I would just be more authentic, like we were just talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If I just be more true to myself and say, guess what? If they don't like me for me, then they don't like me.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Right.
On to the next one.
Now, something you said about social anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen this, but one of my favorite TED Talks was, I probably emailed it to you back in the day, but it was this lady, she was a former cheerleader, and she was talking about fake it till you make it and the power of body language.
Yeah, Superwoman pose.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I saw that video, I think, a year and a half ago, and I just started doing it because I was feeling very insecure in meetings. Like I wouldn't speak up, I wouldn't say anything, and I'm just not a talkative person in general in those settings. But before I knew it, like I was starting to provide input and didn't even realize I was doing those poses, and eventually, like I stopped doing the poses, and it was just in me. So shout out to that lady. I don't know what her name is, but Google that. Google TED Talk, fake it till you make it, or
Power poses.
power poses, because that was a life changer right there.
Yeah.
Because it's not just for work; it's for many situations.
It's for, yeah, it definitely is. I remember I was watching that while I was interviewing for my first software engineering jobs, web developer jobs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would go in the bathroom and I would like do that for 30 seconds right before I would go in the room. And you do feel a lot better. I mean, at least that initial, you know, surge of emotions that you get when you first like meet someone for an interview, they were at least all positive.
Right. Right.
So, you know, I think I definitely believe in the power pose theory, which is not a theory; it's actually facts. You know, it's been proven.
It's facts.
So yeah, you can just Google. You can Google power pose TED Talk, but that talk is by Amy Cuddy.
Amy Cuddy, that's my girl right there. Amy, what up, Cuddy?
And the video is called "Your Body Language Shapes How You Are."
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, so I think that's good. Yeah, plug that in. Yeah. So, did you know that we got a listener letter?
I did not until today.
Yeah. So somebody wrote into a podcast has no name at gmail.com.
Uh-huh.
You know, essentially what they were saying is that they really love the podcast. So thank you so much for saying that. And we'll call this guy Billy. You know, I don't know if they want the information all out there.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Billy. He says that he really loves the podcast and he wants to know a little bit more about each of us and how we became friends and why we even wanted to get started with this podcast. And I think that was a really good question, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring that up for our main topic and just kind of like talk about us and who we are and why are we here listening or being listened to.
Yeah. Do you know?
Do I know who I am?
And why people are listening to us?
I don't know why people listen to us.
Okay. Me either.
Okay, cuz we ain't saying much of anything.
We ain't talking about shit.
Well, I'll go ahead and start then.
Go ahead and start. I mean, you're first on the list, so.
I guess I am first on this. So, hi everyone. Hey, my name is Ed.
Hi, Ed.
My full name is Edward Leon Jasper
Junior.
But if you see him in the streets, you can say, "What up, Ed?"
What?
And I respond to that very easily.
What up, Ed?
Hey, Eddie.
What up, Eddie?
No, yeah. So I'm a web developer. I live in New York City. And I am gay. I'm a gay man. I'm married to my beautiful husband, Frankie. We have been together for.
Wait.
What?
You're gay?
Yeah.
Like gay?
Yeah, like gay.
Bro, I can't do this podcast anymore, bro. I got a rep to protect. People are going to think I'm gay just by being on this podcast.
Well, I think that is very true. They will think that you're gay.
You're right. And I said, fuck it. You close-minded imbeciles.
I'm married to my husband, Francis, and we have been together for almost 4 years now, and we have been married for more than 2 months. And as I stated earlier, Matt, my co-host, was the best man for my wedding.
I was indeed.
And we had an excellent time, very small, intimate, but very powerful ceremony.
Yes.
And yeah, so why did I want to start this podcast? Well, I've always wanted to start a podcast, but about what, for what, and when would I even have the time to do it? And I just kind of let all those questions never get answered, so that way I never had to actually do it. But finally, this year, I said to myself, fuck it. If I don't do a podcast, someone is going to do their podcast. It'll be the exact same thing that I wanted to do.
Yep.
And I'm going to sit in this little cubicle, and I'm going to just wonder, why not me?
Why not me?
And I said, well, why not me? And so I contacted my best friend, Matt, and I said, hey, you ever heard of a podcast? You want to do one with me? Let's do it. And 3 months later, we finally sat down and did it.
Well said. Hi there, everybody. My name is Matt. You can call me Sleazy. I'm 27. I'm not 6'9". I wrote that I was 6'9" with the tight bod. The truth is, because I want to keep it real with everybody, I'm 5'11".
And now's the time to do it.
Now's the time. This is my confessional. I'm 5'11" and some change. So I can't even say I'm 6'0". I'm 5'11" and a little bit of change. With an okay bod. I'm a dad, so it's kind of flabby in some parts, but it's nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, right to the flabby parts.
I just so happen to be a beautiful dreamer who is in love with adrenaline rushes, music, and movies. So let me start from the get-go. Me and my sister grew up in Jacksonville, in an apartment for the first time that my parents got. Nice little small house, 2 beds, 2 bath. And, we were very much into the arts. Me and Mickey would make up dances and performing for my parents. We listened to a lot of gospel, a lot of oldies. My dad worked at a college, so he got a whole bunch of free tickets to go see a lot of plays. So that's probably one of the most vivid memories I have is the stage as a child. And I think that's where my love for Broadway stemmed from.
From Broadway.
On Broadway.
Oh, on Broadway.
And,
okay.
Yeah. Growing up in Jacksonville, it's the biggest city in Florida, or the oldest city. I don't know, some statistic, but
the biggest.
Like, all right, well, they have a lot of field trips where you do a lot of stuff, especially compared to Daytona. So, yeah, I'm a great big Jacksonville Jaguars fan. I love my friends. I love my family. And I'm committed to getting better every single week, every single day. I always want to improve. have a huge love for the arts, have a very soft spot for diversity and underdogs. So that's why I'm in love with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know what else y'all want to know, but leave me a comment if you want some other info.
I don't know. Our listeners have been very quiet.
Yeah, I know y'all are listening because
Oh,
we could see the downloads, but
I see the downloads. Okay. They're in the triple digits. I mean, I know y'all are out here. I don't know why you're being so quiet. I really just want to talk to you.
see, yo, listen, we want to talk to you, please. You provide our content, the people. Like we don't make stuff up. Like Game of Thrones, like we don't create that. Other people create that. So like we need questions. We need input. If you have complaints,
I
complain.
guess we're just doing it too good. Well, listen. Here's what I want to say about your bio was so good and so well thought out. I guess I should say a little more about myself too.
Oh no, I think we had enough. I think we should move on to the homework.
I used to be a musician. Okay, I was a lead singer of a band, so always extremely artistic. I went on tour a couple times. I've been always into the stage life, and you know what? One thing happened after another, and I just decided that I wasn't going to be a performer anymore, and I kind of let my dreams and goals die with that. But no more. Okay,
No
this
more.
this podcast is just it's just one door that I'm opening to world domination.
Mm.
So, if you're not with me, you're against me. So leave a comment. um, Matt, you had this really cool personality test that you had me fill out today.
Yes. Oh man, Rebecca sent me that, and it was awesome. Like I've taken a lot of personality tests, like which Game of Thrones character are you? Which celebrity are you? But this one was
Which kind of slut are you?
oh, it's kind of slut. This one was 16 personalities, and it makes you answer 100 questions, and it tells you what your personality is, but it goes down into your strengths and weaknesses, how you deal with romantic relationships, friendships, how you parent, career paths. It was awesome because it was right on point. It was very telling. Very telling.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It said, oh shit, it said that I'm the mediator, which my sign is also, well, I'm a Libra, which is also the scales, and one of the things that we are known for is being very democratic, very diplomatic,
Okay.
very accommodating, very people pleaser-y.
Mm.
In a good way, I think.
Okay.
Listen, no one has to get their fucking feelings hurt.
Nobody.
All I'm asking for is that the cops don't shoot me.
Ooh. Is that too much?
Is that too much?
Well, let me tell you what I got,
Okay.
because I was the logician,
I saw that.
which was surprising, but
It was surprising.
when I read it, I was like, "Oh, this is me," and I was so because I don't like math or science. I used to want to be an astronaut, but somewhere between the weed and the drinking, I I think I've killed way too many brain cells for that. So I'm like, I'm kind of just like the grumpy old man that used to be smart, but I'm still have all the grumps, if you will.
Okay, you got the grumps. You got the grumps.
I got the grumps. So let me just tell you who a few of these logicians are, celebrity logicians. I can compare myself to Mr. Bill Gates. Hello. Albert Einstein. Hello.
Wow.
Ellen Page. Okay.
Okay, I see that one more.
Game of Thrones Game of Thrones fans. You might know an Aemon Targaryen. No? Nobody? Okay.
No.
Lord Varys.
Okay.
Little sleaze bucket. Neo from the Matrix. Hello, the one. Yeah, that's me.
Wow.
He was a logician. Who else we got? Um, Marshall Chloe O'Brien. Okay, yep, that's it.
You're definitely a Leslie Winkle.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is, but I'll take it. Great.
And you're definitely Abed Nadir from the Community. Did you ever watch that show?
Nope. So I do not get your insult. I mean, I was surprised when I saw yours. I'm just saying.
What?
Yeah, because you know who else got that?
Who?
Rebecca. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Rebecca got the mediator.
Oh my goodness.
And the reason it surprised me was because, like, of course, all the stuff that I read about her, like, it made sense. But I was like, I didn't think you were that emotional.
I'm not that emotional.
Well, I don't know, bro. The mediator is kind of an emotional personality.
I think I don't want to say emotional. I think that we are we are very connected to our emotions, but we won't let that harm us. I'm sorry, but we won't let that stop us from telling you like it is, but also understanding that we could hurt your feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that we are very in tune to emotions in general, and not just ours, but other people's, and saying like, okay, I could say this one thing, but it would really hurt your feelings, but I could say this other thing that could give you some tough love.
Oh,
But also, I know where the edge is for you.
Okay.
And I'm not going to cross that line because there's no need.
Right. I could dig that.
You know, Alicia Keys is also a mediator.
I saw that.
Along with Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah, I can see that.
And J.R.R. Tolkien. So we are among the greats.
Y'all are among the greats, I must say.
So, shout out to Becca. So, Matt, what kind of homework do you have for our listeners?
Well, nothing too extreme, but what I'd like for us to do is something I used to be guilty of, was using my kids as crutches, in the essence of saying, people say, hey, Matt, you want to come out to the oh, no, my kids, how my bank account is set up is my kids. Or it might be, hey, Matt, like, what's your goals? Oh, I want to go to Hollywood, but, my kids were born, and I just think it's best that, we just stay here comfortable on Daytona. But, I started listening to replaying some memories. I took out my pensieve. I don't know. None of you probably have that. That's a Harry Potter bowl where your memories swirl around in the pot.
Wow.
J.K. Rowling actually sent me the only working one. I wrote her
oh my goodness,
a 31-page essay, and she honored me with that. So I was in my pensieve last night, and I pulled up a memory, and it was of...
Memories.
It was of... basically, I was playing basketball with somebody. It was an older gentleman.
They were playing basketball
all across the world. And he was like, you hear it all the time on the court. You're like, man, let me tell you, I would have been pro if I ain't hurt my ankle. I would have been pro if I ain't sprained my knee. I would have been pro if I ain't get locked up. It's always some, I would have been this if this doesn't happen. So my homework is, stop using crutches, period. There are no longer any valid excuses.
None.
Because one excuse is just as invalid as the other. It's called an excuse. It's not valid by default. It's an excuse for not doing what you need to be doing, what you should be doing, what you want to be doing. So yeah, stop using not only kid crutches, not only injury crutches, stop using crutches. What kind of homework you got?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback on that.
Okay. Come on.
I think that it's time that as a community, we rise on up.
Come on.
Okay. And when I say rise on up, I think that we need to start setting sub goals for ourselves.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this month is June, right?
Yes.
So I think that
July.
I'm sorry, this month is July. And I think that it would be a good idea if we set a goal for us to, or three goals for us to complete by January 1st, right?
I like that.
So let's spend the rest of July thinking about three big goals that we would like to commit, and then give ourselves 5 months to commit it. So that would give you August, September, October, November, and December.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Go ahead.
One of my goals that I want to put, because I saw that goal list that you put up there, and I like that 6,000. I don't know if we need to share that on air, but whatever. 6,000 listeners, 6,000 downloads by January 1st. I want to get 5 celebrities to retweet our podcast link by January. I'm talking about big celebrities. I want to get them to spread the word to their followers about our podcast. 5.
5. You know what? Let's fucking do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do that. I like that. I think it's strong. I think it's powerful. I think it's very ambitious. But that don't mean that we can't do it.
Every day I'm gonna work.
Okay, there we go. That's all I need to hear. So I should be posting a blog on my website on how I suggest crafting these goals. So you can look for that in the next week. But I think that goals are very important. And as I said in the previous podcast, like once you start accomplishing the goals that you've set out, and when you see them come to fruition, it's going to really empower you to make more and more things happen. And, eventually you'll have that life that you've always dreamed of. But, I do think that, like you said, we have all these crutches that we use that X, Y, and Z happened to me, and that's why I can't complete this. Like, listen, when we first started this podcast, you were saying stuff about your kids standing in the way of finding time to record. But you got over that when you realized that there is actually time. I just have to make it happen.
You just got to make it happen. And let me tell you, like this podcast has been excellent for my whole family. It's crazy how you try to stop yourself from doing something that might actually be medicine for a situation that you might not even know is there.
So I kind of want to leave us with this quote that Larry Wilmore said, who is the host of the nightly show. Okay. He said, "The punishment for resisting arrest shouldn't be death. The punishment for selling bootleg CDs shouldn't be death. The punishment for having a gun in an open carry state should not be death. The punishment for being a black man should not be death." I think that this is a more somber episode, as we unfortunately have had to have 2 somber episodes in this few weeks that we've been recording this. We've had 2 huge things happen. The Orlando tragedy and, now Alton Sterling.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is like, I'm very glad that I have this platform, this little podcast, to say how I feel. But, as much as it helps, it doesn't help that much emotionally.
Right.
Because there's still mornings when I wake up and, like, my breath gets taken a little bit when I think about Orlando.
Right.
Or when I, like, in my mind replay, a black man getting shot in a car with his child in the back seat, like, terrified for her life.
Yeah. It's
like,
horrifying.
It's horrifying. I mean, you have 2 kids. Like, that could easily be you.
Right. Yeah. And it's constantly running through my mind because I used to be quite the hothead, especially on the road. Driving down to Miami, almost getting cut off, like hanging outside the window, flicking people off, throwing things. And I can't do that anymore.
We're going to come back here next week with more energy, and we're definitely going to have more exciting things to talk about. We love getting the opportunity to tell you a little bit about ourselves today, and also discuss what's going on in the Black culture. now and what's been going on for a really long time. And I hope that when you see these things on Facebook of people saying Black Lives Matter and expressing their concerns, when I'm sure your black friends on Facebook are saying things, that you really don't take what they're saying as just like, oh, they're just doing this because they're on Facebook and like they're just trying to be cool, whatever. Like, this is quite honestly a reality that we've all, as a black culture, have had to face growing up. And I think it's kind of like, it's kind of like with the Orlando thing. You know, I was astounded when people were saying, how can this much hate still exist in the world, when I see it all the time? And it's kind of like the black culture is the same way. It's like everyone else is saying, oh my God, you know, Black Lives Matter. Like, I can't believe this is happening still. And we're saying, this has been happening.
Right.
I'm glad that you're on my side, but also, like, you know, before when I was saying all these things, you just were thinking about just being a mad black man or a mad black woman.
Right. Just hating white people.
Just hating white people. Now you see the evidence, and I hope you understand. I hope you understand what's really going on here. So, I don't know.
You know, the kids were watching the episode of Daniel Tiger today, and it was about empathy, oddly enough. So just practice empathy, which I'm looking it up. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Put yourself, if you're white, just put yourself in our shoes. Like, if you're just, you know, driving down the street and you get pulled over, and think of how you would react in that situation normally, and then consider these situations that have happened to these black men who have been assassinated. Picture your father as one of them. Picture your child as one of them. Imagine what it would be like to have these conversations with your child. Like right now, you probably only have to think about the birds and the bees. Oh man, like what age? But as a black man, like I have to think about, okay, like when do I tell my son how to interact with the police? That's not a conversation y'all have to have.
Right.
So put yourselves in that situation. Like what age should I have that conversation with him?
Right.
Put yourself in our shoes.
Somebody on Facebook posted that you know, I never really had an issue being afraid until, this is a gay guy. I never had an issue being afraid until the tragedy in Orlando happened, and now I see what black people have been experiencing their whole life. This, you know, this fear that I can go outside of my house and I could be shot down because of who I am. And, you know, the thing about it is kind of like what Jesse said in his speech at the BET Awards. It's like, they'll let you be free, but don't act like you're free. You know, like you're allowed to be married to a man and be a man, but just don't act gay. Like, you can be a free black person, but just don't flash it around in my face.
Right.
So this is what's going on out here. This is fucking real shit, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Another somber episode.
But we're gonna come back harder and stronger next week. Until then, Black Lives Matter.
Yes, they
do. And tell somebody that you love them, and we can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Amen.
Bye.
Deuces.